Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, inside the StreamYard Studios for another exciting interview for you guys today. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I have Miss Chelsea Connor, which we'll get a chance to have up here real quick in a few. But before that, though, if you guys want to get a chance to check out the Fighting Now, make sure you guys go head on over to Instagram. And while you're at it, go check out some of the gear from TMH. They're so amazing. They're so incredible. As a matter of fact, I just sent Chelsea what could possibly be our new shirt slash new logo. So make sure you guys go check that out as far as any more updates. Now, let's not waste any time. Please help me introduce you guys to a woman who'll be fighting for LFA on March 29th. She is a woman who I'm so glad to get a chance to talk to. She's very sweet. She's very beautiful. But once when she's in the cage, she's a hard hitting girl. Please help me welcome Ohio's very own Miss Chelsea Connor.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. How are you doing, Miss Ma'am?
I am amazing. How are you?
I'm doing good on this beautiful day. Things have been going really well for you here lately, hasn't it?
Yes, yes. Busy, busy, but all very good things.
I would say you talk about being very busy. So what's been going on here lately?
So we just moved into our new location, Smileback Training Center. That's the gym that me and my husband own. We just got the keys March 1st and was able to start moving into our new gym. We went from like having 1,200 square foot to 8,000 square foot. Like it is huge, four times the amount of space that we were working with. So we've been doing all that. We had our first boxing show that went great. And then I had two of my teammates fight this past weekend and had to go corner them. And yeah, so it's been busy.
It definitely has been busy for sure, and not to mention, of course, you got a fight coming up next week, and of course, we're gonna just talk about all that later on. But of course, we gotta get a chance to talk about on how you first started fighting. So we all get inspired by what we do best. Me when it comes to interviewing, and you when it comes to fighting. So what inspired you to start fighting?
Basically just my upbringing. I grew up on a farm. My sisters and we honestly fought a lot growing up. So shout out to my sisters for making me tough and mean. I was the youngest, so I had to learn how to defend myself. But really, my uncle growing up, he did karate, so I found a lot of just watching him. I was kind of inspired a lot by him, just his self discipline and confidence that he always seemed to have. I always kind of gravitated towards him quite a bit. So my uncle and my upbringing is really what got me into it.
Not to mention that, of course, you're coming from Ohio, and one thing I really noticed is that there's you and so many ladies from Ohio who's doing so many incredible things, not only on the pro side, but of course the amateur side. So my next question to you is, how much does it mean to you the fact that you and so many ladies are doing so many incredible things for the state of Ohio, and do you hope that there'll be more fighting events coming down to Ohio here soon?
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. It's awesome. We have a pretty tight knit group of females that I've been working with for a few years now. And we're just grinding it out. We're helping each other. One of the girls, Jade Sheely, we fought back in the day. And then ever since, we've just been pretty good friends and we train all the time together. So we really help push each other. She actually has an LFA fight, I think April 6th, 5th or 6th, she'll be fighting again in Minnesota. So, yeah, she's gonna go pick up another quick win, and we're gonna put Ohio on the map.
And not to mention that, of course, which by the way, shout out to Jade Sheely because if anybody doesn't know, her last fight, it was not the finish that she wanted, but it, it when I saw that, it really made me mad because like I've seen how much she's put into her training and how much she's been prepping for this fight, and to have a finish like that, no other fighter wants to have a finish like that at all.
No, no, it was really sad. I felt really bad for Jade on that. I told her I'll fight that girl and she can sit in my corner and then we can get our get back. So yeah, no, that girl fought the girl that I'm about to fight, and there's a lot of illegal blows that she was even throwing on that girl. Like I'm not a real big fan of like being a cheater in the sport. You got to learn the rules and don't be being silly.
Yeah, and of course, Jade, if you're watching this or will watch this later on, we definitely do appreciate and support you. And of course, another thing too is that the training aspects. Of course, you train at Smiley. You talked about you and your husband has been doing this ever since y'all started. So, how much have they helped you ever since you created Smiley?
it is.
Oh, I think we. Oh, I don't know what happened. Hang on a second. Are
Okay.
you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, go ahead and finish what you were
Okay.
saying.
Yeah, yeah. So we used to have a gym called Fightopia MMA. And that's our fight team now. We didn't get rid of that name. We just kind of rebranded our gym. So now it's called Smileback Training Center. But I've been with Fightopia since 2014, and that's really where I became a real fighter. I started to actually learn before, in my early amateur days, the gym that I was with, it was just like bar fighting, if I'm being honest with you. We really didn't learn anything. We were just tough and mean and went out and brawled a whole bunch. So when I made the switch to Fightopia, that's when I met my now husband and head coach Johnny Connor, and my strength and conditioning coach Mick Roberts. He's been just absolutely phenomenal. He's a big part of why we're here today and able to do the things that we're doing with Smileback Training Center. It's been a journey, but it's been an incredible one.
And of course, by the way, shout out to Johnny, who you talked about it, your partner, your loved one, pretty much your go-to. And if you guys want to check out how awesome this relationship is, and of course her fighting stuff, make sure you guys go follow her on Instagram at Chelsea_Connor_MMA. The girl deserves a lot of follows. I really admire her. Ever since I followed her, she has been a phenomenal individual who I really admire as far as not only just what you see in the cage, but of course what you see outside the cage, not only helping herself, but of course helping other fighters, helping herself, helping her husband and Johnny. It's really, really awesome stuff. So make sure you guys go follow her at Instagram.
Please, please, please.
She definitely deserves it. And of course, the one thing I really love is that when it comes to each fighter has their different aspects when it comes to training. There's parts that we love about it, but then there's the times where it can be the most toughest part. So from your perspective, what's been the toughest part about training?
Being a mom, missing things with my kids, that's definitely the toughest thing. There'll be times that we're leaving practice and they're like, "Hey, mommy, let's go get some ice cream," and I'm like, "I can't have ice cream right now, guys," and then they have to deal with me, when I'm cutting weight. So it's definitely the toughest part for me is just juggling being a loving mom and being there for my kids, and then flipping that switch to like, I got to go beat someone up.
And one thing I really do love is that both as both a fighter and a mom, it's never easy for sure. So shout out to you, and of course, shout out to any mom fighters, whether it be in MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, whatever it may be. You ladies deserve all the applaud because as a guy who has been doing this now for the past 3 years, I don't see how you ladies do it. I don't see how you take care of one day taking care of your kids, the other day get ready to go punch somebody in the face. It's very incredible and it's very inspiring to see what you girls do.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And of course, not to mention that, and this is going to be a pure example. Next week, you have your big fight coming up, and it's always been that we always have a lot of things that we have that one go to during fight camp, whether it be music, yoga, therapy, whatever it may be. So, do you have that one go to during fight camp?
I do. Mine's the sauna. I love because it's gonna make me sweat either way, whether I get a little workout in before or if I'm like nursing an injury or something. I can hop in the sauna and it just relaxes and I'm burning calories, just sitting there sweating. So it's definitely the sauna for me.
And of course, another thing too is that while you're training, we always have the music that we listen to. Me, obviously, with the posts that you've seen me collaborate with you, it's a little bit of rock stuff. So, do you have any go-to artists that you listen to while you're training?
Nicki Minaj, she is like she gets me. She gets me hyped. I'm like I feel her a whole bunch.
I think we can all agree that Nicki Minaj. And if I would have known, I would have made Nicki Minaj as the post for the collaborations. I would have known because anytime if I make a collaboration, you want to get a chance to hype them up, like show them like yeah, like they're the bad bitch. But
Right.
and like rock music is something I grew up with, so that's why you end up hearing like Breaking Benjamin or Beartooth or any of the other artists that you
Which
hear me.
I love Breaking Benjamin. It's actually cool that you use that one because that was actually one of my walkout songs when I had first started fighting. I walked out to a Breaking Benjamin song, so I, it was good.
You want to know something crazy? That's actually the first time I've ever used that song in a collaboration.
That is
That
crazy.
that is very crazy. I did not know that was one of your walkout songs. Because
Yeah.
growing up, when I started training, our playlist would be like Breaking Benjamin to
Mhm.
Creed out of all bands and
Oh yeah.
Metallica. I mean, it's like if you grew up during the days before when women were allowed to get just to fight, there be
Hmm.
playlists and artists that other fighters or other people would not expect us to have on our playlist.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And of course, another thing too, and this is a very exciting question. This is the next question I'm really excited to get a chance to ask you about. This is coming from somebody who struggles with depression and anxiety. We always have a lot of things that helped us out when during those times. And of course, seeing you and seeing so many fighters that have been such a huge light to the sport. This sport has made an impact in so many ways. So my next question to you is, how much has the sport helped you out mentally?
Oh, more than I could ever imagine. It really, I knew getting into it, it would help my mentality, my confidence, and things like that, just from like seeing what it did for my uncle. But it's helped me in like the darkest spots of my life, just have a purpose and something to keep pushing towards. So yeah, fighting is literally my third MMA fight after having my daughter. That was a real tough time in my life. I was struggling with a lot of stuff, and I chose to fight instead of beating someone up on the street and going to jail for the rest of my life. So fighting really has done a lot for me mentally, where it keeps me from losing it when I know there's other things to focus on.
And I want to get to be able to get a chance to take this time, for anybody that's watching us live or will watch this, if you're struggling with the things I've talked about, depression, anxiety, even self-harm, first of all, please go get the help that you need. Second of all, I can say this from experience that you don't have to be a fighter to go train. One thing I can say is if you're in a room where you just want to just be by yourself, it's not going to help you. If anything, it's going to make things worse. So I encourage
Yes.
anybody, either it be in boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu Jitsu, whatever it may be involved in combat sports, please go check it out. Please go be a part of it. Because when I first joined Psych Ward MMA, back when I was in middle school, I was getting bullied. I was getting a lot of things happening, but then I meet people who have surrounded me with nothing but love, with nothing but support. Now, while you may be going to the gym for the first time, you may not understand these people, but however, these people will treat you like family, like your own family would ever love you. And I'm pretty sure Chelsea can agree with me on this, right?
Absolutely. That's what our gym is there for. And that's what we've always prided ourselves on is we have a family, whether you train every day or whether it's here and there, or we've not seen you in 10 years and then we reunite, you always have a place in the family. So yeah, it's definitely a family thing.
Not to mention that, of course, fighting is a very dysfunctional family. Like, yeah, you're gonna see, at the weigh-ins, face to face, or a little bit of shoving here and there. But however, though, we all fight for a purpose. We all fight for a reason. So I encourage anybody who's struggling. First of all, you're not alone, and second of all, please go give at least martial arts a try because it can help you out in so many ways. Not just in the physical aspects, but of course on the mental aspects. And I think everybody should really give that because it can be really great for self defense too.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
And of course, another thing too is that you talked about it. You first started, and it was pretty much 10 years. I would say what 10 years ago now. And every pro has the days that we look back on as an amateur. So do you ever kind of look back on your days as an amateur?
Yeah, sometimes. Not a whole lot, but when I do, the biggest thing is I look back and I'm like, wow, how different it was back in the day versus what it is now. You have a lot of pros nowadays that they just started their amateur career, 2, 3 years ago at most. I started back in 2009. It was a completely different generation, time, era back then versus what it is now.
And the one thing I really love is that, for anybody who doesn't understand, is that, women's MMA and women's combat sports have changed a lot since then because,
Yes.
growing up, I mean, here in the small town of West Virginia, I mean, we would see ladies fighting in the ring and people don't really see, like, wow, these ladies could fight. But when
Yeah.
you see ladies, and I'm going to mention a couple of UFC fighters, you look at legends like Ronda Rousey, you look at Misha
Hmm.
Tate, you look at Holly Holm, you look at so many ladies that have changed the game for women to get a chance to compete. And nowadays, like you mentioned for Chelsea, you can go to any promotion and have a spot because everybody loves to see women's fights because they bring us to the edge of our seats. And that's
Yeah.
one thing I really love. You can go to Invicta, you can go to Combat Day, you can go to so many different promotions. It's incredible with how much the women's MMA has changed for over 10+ years now.
Yeah, it really is. I remember my very first amateur fight when I made my debut. I remember a guy asking if they were going to put a swimming pool in the middle of the ring with baby oil because he thought, like, with me fighting, he thought it was going to be like a foxy boxing, like what you see in strip clubs
Yeah.
type boxing is what he thought it was. And I'm like, no, like we're going to do what the guys are doing, you know? And that was, like I said, that was in 2009. And yeah, it has definitely evolved into where, like you said, we are here, and we're staying here.
And then not to mention that, of course, when I first got a chance to go to my first boxing event, there was two ring girls that had beef the night before. So they thought, well, they thought, why don't we just go ahead and have two ring girls wear actual bathing suits and actually
Yeah.
fight in the
Hmm.
middle of the boxing ring? And I'm like, okay, to each his own, I guess. I mean, if they're actually fighting, then yeah, I mean, like I'm okay
Yeah.
with it. But if they're just like I said for a sexy boxing, then
Yeah.
that's a waste of money.
Yes, I agree. 100%.
And of course, as a pro, you pretty much take on so many different women in your career. Do you ever have that one opponent who was the toughest in your career?
Honestly, it would have been Eleni Pereira. That fight, her size, she had a 9.5 inch reach advantage on me. I was honestly, I took that fight, just wanting to see whether I wanted to fight again. I really wasn't in the headspace of like really wanting to make another run or anything. It was just, I had had another kid, took 5 years off, and was like, I was gonna do just like a local regional show, and then I got the call from LFA saying, "Hey, do you want to fight Eleni Pereira?" And I'm a little crazy, so I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna go out, let me go out on my shield. So, I was proud that I made it all 3 rounds with her, but it really my headspace was not there. I just went out and I had fun with it. So, I'd say she was definitely my toughest fight.
And of course, shout out to Lenny Pereira for sure. And of course, not to mention that as a woman of the sport, everybody, you always have a lot of eyes, a lot of young generation, and of course, a lot of people who are still potentially wanting to get a chance to get involved with MMA or even self defense. So, do you ever kind of hope to inspire other women with what you're doing in fighting right now?
That's 100% my main goal. I mean, that's why I got back into it. When I first started it back when I was 18, it's just what I did, because I loved it. But then after I had my daughter back in 2011 and then I got back into it, I did it for her. I wanted her to be able to see, hey, life isn't over after you have a kid. You can still chase your dreams, and I just want to be that um role model for so many young girls to look up to and say like, hey, she did it, I can do it too.
Yeah, not to mention that, of course, one thing I really see is that you're inspiring, like I mentioned, for younger generations. Does it ever make you feel special the fact that you have little girls come up to you and talk about how awesome you are, or you'll have an autograph at least? I mean, does it ever make you feel special at some point?
Yeah, it's the coolest thing ever. I love it. Like at first when they first started coming up to me, it was real awkward because I'm like, I'm just a normal person, whatever. I struggled for a long time to like accept my greatness and like who I actually am. I was just like, I'm a nobody, whatever. Why are they asking me? And now like getting older and starting to see the impact that I'm having on all these young girls, it's very special, very neat. It's my favorite thing.
I've really loved that for sure. And of course, like I said before, we're talking about your big fight coming up on March 29th, LFA. You got a really tough opponent in Miss Rosales. I mean, talk about what your head's going to be coming towards this fight. I mean, this is probably going to be a really good fight between you two, and I'm really excited. So, what's
Yes.
your thoughts going into this fight?
I am so excited. I'm excited. My weight's down. I am like honestly in the best shape of my life. So that is great. The biggest thing is getting back to 115 pounds. That's where I just dominate. There's not a 115er out there that's going to hang with me. I think it's no disrespect at all to Alandria. I think she's amazing and I'm super thankful to get to share the cage with her. But I just think the experience that I have and the experience that she has is on way big different levels. So, and I think it's going to show. She's a tough girl, but I'm tougher, I'm meaner, and I'm going to dominate the fight.
And best believe that you guys want to check this out on March 29th at LFA. I think LFA has all of the stream ways you guys get just a chance to watch the fight. Sorry for the stutter, but make sure you guys head on over to LFA on Instagram or other social media platforms. It'll have a chance for you to get a chance to watch this big event. And of course, watching this, I mean, honestly, this fight alone, I'm very excited about between you and Alandria. This is going to be a very good one for sure.
Yes, for sure.
And and of course, my final question. This is a very tough question, and I just why I gave you the question, a couple of days ago for you to think about this, because we all want to get inspired by what we do best. Me when it comes to interviewing, but you when it comes to fighting. So, what's something you want to be recognized for during your time of fighting?
Yeah, it was really hard to narrow it down to only one. But the biggest thing would be being a mother. I want people to see, like, wow, she's a mom and she didn't give up on chasing her dreams. Growing up, I heard it from so many parents and things like that that were, once you have your kids, your life's over. You're just a parent. You can't do anything with your life. So I really want people to be inspired by what I do, being a mom. And that's the biggest thing that I want to be remembered for. But I also, my smile is something, that I definitely want people to, because I know it's something that my smile's infectious. I can change people's moods with it. And I definitely want people to remember me for, being a mom and my smile.
And I think just like the sun out here, I think your smile has definitely brightened us all in so many ways for sure. And guys, once again, I cannot stress enough. Please go follow Miss Chelsea at Chelsea underscore Connor underscore MMA on Instagram and of course other social media platforms. Because one thing I really gotta say is I really admire what you're doing, not only just for fighting, but of course you being a mother, you being a wife, you doing so many things, a teammate. It's really inspiring. And when we talked the other day and you told me about what's going on, I was like, I don't see how you do it. I don't see how you do it. Either it's either it's the energy that you have, or you must have had some sort of energy drink to give you all this energy that you needed. It's very amazing. And of course, this is very cheesy, and you probably will end up screen recording this by the end of the interview. But I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Thank you.
Oh
I
man,
I try to stay away from the energy drinks. They will I don't like drinking energy drinks a whole lot, but I need my naps is what I need my space away and then I can be the person I like to be, but then I need to have a little bit of seclusion. So that's my trick to keeping it all together.
this is coming from somebody who literally has to get up at 6 in the morning almost every day except for today. I gotta have my energy.
Yeah.
Like I told people all the time, it's like, what's your biggest go-to in the mornings? A gas station, chicken biscuit, and then an energy drink. That's all I need. Until I have those, don't
Yeah.
message me, don't call me. Wait till I have my breakfast, then I'm good to go.
Yes, yes. I get up every day at 6 a.m. just so I can have like quiet time. I like my quiet time. I'll do my little run and then have my coffee and protein shake and then I'm ready to talk to people. I'm just like you where it's like don't talk to me until I do all those things and then we can talk.
I don't see how you can do the coffee. I'm sorry, but I've I've tried 3 different times on the coffee, And the second time I was like, "Oh yeah, this is great." And then I hear him. I'm looking at my mom like, "Yeah, it just tastes like shit."
I used to hate coffee. I've always loved the smell of it, but the taste of it is like, oh. But I use like sugar-free French vanilla. It's more of like a cappuccino.
I will definitely have to give that a try come tomorrow morning when I head over to work. I will definitely give that a try and let you know what I think about that.
Yes.
Chelsea, I gotta tell you this before we get just to hop off here. I'm really, really proud of you of what you're doing because it's all inspiring. I think, women like you and so many others, I'll be part of, MMA and of course other combat sports. It's really incredible. And for somebody like me who struggles with depression and anxiety, seeing what you ladies do is very inspiring. And I hope you know that you're making such an impact on me, and of course, so many impact on other people. Jade, I'm sure, will definitely have made an impact on her for sure. And it's really inspiring. It's really incredible. Keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I'm honored to even get a chance to have this interview because it's been a while since I've done an interview. To have you back, to my first interview back, it's been fun. It's been incredible. Don't at me in the comments on the starter. I know about that, but at the end of the day, we all are here for a reason to have fun, kick ass, and just live life the best way we possibly can. So really, truly, Chelsea, thank you so much for what you're doing. And I'm very,
Thank
very. And
you.
next fight, we'll definitely talk about sponsorships for sure. Next fight, we'll
Awesome.
definitely talk
Thank
about
you.
sponsorships.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. Do you have any final thoughts or comments you want to get just say before we hop off the air?
Just shout out everyone that's been helping me with this fight camp. I have a lot of cross training partners, like I said, Jade, Sydney, Faith, Dylan, they're all up. David, they're up at Demolition, and then obviously all my Fighttopians. Destiny Page has been a massive asset to my training camp. She's like helping me out, going above and beyond. So super big shout out to everyone back at home too at Fightopia.
By the way, if you guys have not got a chance to follow, Jade or of course the girls that you mentioned, they're on your Instagram, so please
Yes.
go give those ladies a follow too. They definitely deserve it as well. And then of course we gotta get a chance to show love to Ohio because Ohio is what made you ladies as tough as y'all can be.
Yes.
And of course, what? Shout out to anybody that's watching this live or will watch this once when it gets posted. And of course, shout out to you for everything that you've done. I am very blessed to have you on here. I think we had a very great time. I agree, don't you think?
Yes. Yes, I do. Thank you for having me. And thank you for doing everything that you do for our sport. It's incredible. Thank you so much.
I've been doing this for 3 years now, and I don't think I'm ever going to stop anytime soon.
I don't suggest you to do that. Yeah, you're doing awesome. Keep it up.
And by the way, little note before we hop off the air, she is actually the first person I sent the potential new shirt
Yes.
slash new logo. What did you think about that?
I love it. It goes so perfectly with your message. It's like the perfect shirt for your stuff. Yes. Love it, love
Well,
it, love it.
once when it gets up on TMH's site, I will make sure and I will literally send you one personally from
Oh.
your truly to send you one when it gets on the air. So thank you for all that you do, and I will definitely send you the link once when I get done here. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you, Miss Chelsea. Have a great day.
All right. You too. Thanks.
No problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Miss Chelsea Connor. That was a very fun, a very exciting interview. Yes, I know I stuttered, but don't at me. First interview back. What more can you say? We had a very great time, a very amazing time, and we hope that you guys enjoyed it. But hey, we got another exciting interview coming up. Coming up this Wednesday, we have Miss Tiffany from Redneck Brawl on Instagram Live. So if you guys want to check out that interview, make sure you guys go follow me at the Fighting Now. And of course, while you're there, go check out the link in my bio to check out all of our great merchandise from TMH.fit. They're incredible. They're awesome. Shout out to them. And I'm very excited to see what's next. So, but until then, ladies and gentlemen, I am Jake, not from State Farm, saying so long, and we'll see you guys next time. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.